Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to make this Christmas snow globe that you see on the screen right now. I already prepared two PNG transparent pictures. I'm going to get that made ahead of time. I will put the pictures and the shaders in the description below. I use a handicap controller. It's a sip and puff. You may hear a little bit of noise with that. There's nothing I can do about it. And I use this on-screen keyboard. In Edit page, go up in Media Pool, right click, and New Fusion Composition. You can name it if you like, but you don't have to. Stretch it out to about 20 seconds. Click on it and go to Fusion. Click away over here. Up here in the toolbar, this is where most of your 3D tools are. A 3D shape, 3D merge, camera, and render. Pipe the render into the media out. And you should see it in viewer 2. We're going to need a light too, so select the merge and then shift spacebar. And we want directional light. Put the merge in viewer 1. You'll see the light and the camera right along with the 3D shape. Let's start out with selecting the shape node. In the inspector, under shape, it'll say plane. Go down and select sphere. Take the base subdivisions and the height subdivisions all the way up to the right. That will smooth everything out. Let's go to the camera node. We're going to move the camera, and you'll see it in viewer 1. We're going to move that back, and then in viewer 2, you'll see it start to get smaller and smaller. In the inspector, under transform, select use target. Under translation, z-axis, we'll move that back. Probably somewhere like that, maybe a little bit smaller. I'm right close to 12. We can always readjust it. We're going to put a stand and a table under it later, like you seen in the beginning. So click away right about here. Shift spacebar. And fall off. And pipe that into your shape. Make sure the fall off node is selected. You can do some different colors if you like. The face on color is more the center of the sphere. We want to turn that opacity all the way down. Then you got the glancing color. This is more the outer edge. Down here at the bottom, you have fall off. It's just the amount of it you like. Make it totally transparent if you want. No need to do that here. So we're going to select white because this is Christmas. We're going to have snow in there. We're going to use particles. Right here is some of our particle nodes. We'll start out with the P emitter. then a P renderer. Pipe them in like that. With the render node selected, the P render, you want to make sure this is on 3D. It should automatically be because we tied it into 3D. Go back to the P emitter node, select that. Want to leave it on sphere. As you can see, as I take the size up, viewer 1 especially, you can see it much better. If it isn't large enough, we'll have to raise the value. Like mine, we want to get that all the way out to the outer edge. So I'll make mine 2. Go to controls. Take the number up all the way. That is the amount of particles you have in there. We don't have to play around with many of these controls here. With P emitter selected, go to Shift Spacebar and type in P turbulence.
Preview, 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 preview.
If you're not seeing your particles, it might be because your playhead is all the way at frame 0. It starts out with none or very little. So move your playhead over towards the center. And with the P turbulence selected, you can play around with these sliders and set it to your liking. That's how much it makes them move around. I think that looks fine right there. Make some room. Grab a background node, a polygon. Grab an image plane. Select the image plane. Shift spacebar and transform 3D. Connect that into the merge. Go to one viewer. Select the polygon node. Something like that. On the top left, select the modify only tool. If you hold the control button down, you can manage these handles a lot easier. If you need to move any of these points, just highlight them and you can use the arrows on the keyboard. Go to the background node and make it white. Now you'll see our mask is really small in the center of the sphere. You can make it a little bit larger with the image plane. But you'll see, unless you change the value, it's not large enough, so I just use the transform. And something like that. For the sake of the tutorial, I'm not going to get too picky on how I set things. Let's add a merge. Let's grab another image plane. Bring one of our pictures on down. Now we have our Santa Claus with the tree in there. Select the image plane in the inspector and the transform. We'll size it and adjust it accordingly. Select another image plane. Bring our other picture down. Pipe that in the merge. Select the image plane, back in the inspector. Under transform. And position it with your X, Y, and Z translation. I'm going to have to move this point to make a little room for the house. Go back to the polygon. We're going to select that point, move it to the right. There, now we got room for the house. I think that looks good enough. Let's add another merge. Okay, now we're going to add a table. I'll click away right here. Another 3D shape. Pipe that in the merge. Now you'll see the plane. We'll go to the inspector, under shape, and select cube. Uncheck the lock width, height, and depth. Under transform Y axis, you can move it down. Back to controls. I think the depth is about correct already. In viewer 1, there's a little lighting switch here. If you select that, you can see the 3D a little better sometimes. Let's go ahead and add a shader to that. Shift spacebar and replace material. I have some wood shaders here in my power bin. I'll make that a little wider. Click away there and we'll get another 3D shape. Pipe that into your merge. Select the shape node. Change the shape to cube again. Unlock the width, height, and depth. Make that just a little wider than the table. We're going to take the depth. Something like 1.2, 1.25. And then we're going to move it forward. We're going to take the depth to 1.2. Let's change the into 1.1. Line this back edge up. Select that 3D shape node and shift spacebar. Another replace material. And we can use the same one. Pipe down like that. Now we'll make the stand. Let's grab another merge. Kind of run out of room here. I don't want to spend too much time repositioning all these nodes. Okay, again, another shape node. In the inspector under shape, select cone. Take the base subdivisions and height subdivisions all the way up to the right again. Just play with the adjustments till you get it to fit. You want to just touch the table and just touch the sphere. Okay, we'll add a shader to this. Select that node. Shift spacebar and replace material. Something a little different color. Let's go back down to Fusion and set our render node up. And the light. Select the render node. Go to render type. Change from software render to hardware. Select lighting. And shadows, we may deselect the shadows. Select the directional light node. In the inspector on the transform. Select use target. I don't have a middle mouse wheel like you guys do to move around. I'm going to make a little more frost around the spheres. We'll go back down. Select the fall off node. If you look real close at the sphere, you'll see lines through it. We'll go back down to Fusion and fix that. Back to the render node. Change it from Z buffer to quick sort. May have to readjust your fall off. Let's add an ambient light to this. Click away. Shift spacebar and ambient. Pipe it in the merge. Go back to the direction light and turn that down some. Play with the lighting. Find something you like. Let it render out. We'll give it a play. Well, there you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.